name's Pixie. I'm currently a volunteer support worker with Simon on the Streets. That's quite a recent thing in the last few weeks, though I've been volunteering since November. Previous to that, I was a service user of Simon on the Streets for many years. I first became involved with Simon on the Streets when I was street homeless myself. They do a soup run on a Tuesday night that at the time used to be here where we are, at the back of, well, I still call it the Schofield Centre, showing my age a bit, but I'm not sure what it's called now. And I saw it as somewhere where I could get a warm drink, something to eat and blankets. And I genuinely believe that service being available in those times that I was going through quite possibly saved my life from the elements, from the cold and the wet. And the support that I got there, just someone to talk to, I think just made a difference. I always knew on a Tuesday night there would be someone to speak to. Because I always had people around me, you know, but the people that I had around me also had their issues going on and were doing the same things, and life was just the same thing day in, day out. And at the time it was just about surviving, not living. The first contact I had with Simon on the Streets was because they did the soup van on a Tuesday night, and I could go there and get something to eat, a warm drink and blankets and clothes and the practical things. Off the back of that, I got to know some of the volunteers and the staff, and they used to come out on outreach and just stop, talk, say hello, hi, how are you? Just to be asked, how are you? And to be able to answer honestly, you know. And I feel just being there, and with no time limits on it either, because the first contacts that I had, I couldn't see a way out. I thought that's all it was going to be. But to know that there were still people there that cared, that I wasn't just a non-entity that wandered around aimlessly doing the things that I was doing, that somebody genuinely cared. And when I started to see Jamie doing well and that, and I thought, you know, there is a way out of this. There's got to be, you know. So I started to engage a bit more, and Simon on the Street started to come with me to appointments and help me get in with doctors and start looking after myself a bit better. And that emotional support, just to meet for a coffee and to just talk about things I'm interested in, you know. I'd spent a lot of time like feigning interest in what others was interested in to fit in, to be able to talk about stuff I'm interested in and things I like to do and what I'd like to be doing with myself in future, you know. No matter how far off that seemed, and no matter how, you know, it was always taken seriously, as in that's what I wanted to do, and I was always encouraged that there'd be a time when I would be able to do that. Which then led on to working more intensively. I had a support worker for nearly 4 years that I used to see pretty much every week and helped me with a lot of stuff. Got into accommodation, started going to like structured day programs, sticking to a methadone prescription, not using, and just having that encouragement to do that, and to see that it was worthwhile doing that as well. And that encouragement that at my pace, when I'm ready to do it and move on, that it'd be done without the time limits. Where a lot of services that I was engaging with, you would be with them for say 6 months, but if you missed so many appointments, you was taken off their books. That wouldn't have worked. That didn't work for me when I was still using and quite chaotic, and you know. So for a service like Simon on the Streets, not to have those restrictions and to be able to work with someone for as long or short a time as is needed for that individual person made all the difference for me. And being there for me when I slipped, when I had setbacks, being there to help me pick up the pieces again. And I emphasise the help me bit, because it's not about doing it for me. I didn't want people doing things for me. It was support and encouragement to help me do things for myself. And I got into training. I started doing training courses and voluntary work with other services, and as and when became appropriate, I started volunteering with Simon on the Streets a couple of afternoons a week last year, and that's progressed to now I do 3 full days in Bradford. And for me, it's about being there for other people the way Simon on the Streets was there for me. Because I think as well it'd be a wasted. What was the point or the purpose of all those years experiencing that lifestyle and being there and doing those things if it wasn't going to be put to some good use in the end? So for me, it's about giving something back to a service that's always been there for me and continues to be. Even though I'm now a volunteer support worker, I've still got the support of Simon on the Streets. It's not, and it's in the same way, it's just slightly different, as in now I can, I'm part of the team, and I don't feel that would be the same no matter what background I had, no matter where I'd come from, how I ended up on the team. The fact is that I'm part of it, and it's not held against me, it's not held in my favour. I'm just me, and I can be myself. With Simon on the Streets, I can be myself. So it's not just the support with housing and education and practical stuff to fit in with society, support to do the things that I want to do personally as well, to develop as an individual and to be Pixie.